The blossom on the snowy peak. A story of faith triumphing over death. There are moments when the human soul seems to teeter on the fragile boundary between life and death, between a dimming light and overwhelming darkness. Yet, it is precisely in such moments that faith, fragile as a wisp of smoke, can ignite into an undying flame, illuminating generations to come. Greetings, dear friends. Today, I warmly invite you to journey with me across time, back to the harrowing days of the 17th century, when the world groaned under the weight of war and oppression. Together, we shall witness the true story of Marie Durand, a silent yet radiant witness of Christian faith during the fierce persecution of the Huguenots in France. This story is not merely a tale of suffering and endurance, it is a mirror held up to each of us, reflecting how one heart's unwavering faith can transform not only a life but an entire community. In April 1730, France was gripped by brutal repression against those who dared profess a faith outside the Catholic Church. The Huguenots, like Marie, were hunted, imprisoned, and forced to renounce their beliefs or face death. At just 15 years old, Marie Durand, an age when a young girl should have been dreaming freely under the blue skies, was thrust into a nightmare of iron and sorrow. Her father, an elder in their Huguenot congregation, was publicly executed as a warning. Marie and many young women from her village were seized and thrown into the grim fortress of Tour de Constance, a prison by the Mediterranean Sea whose cold stone walls seemed to devour every sliver of sunlight. As the heavy iron gate clanged shut behind her, Marie realized she might never see freedom again. The jailers offered a simple yet cruel bargain: renounce your faith, and you walk free. Within the cold, windowless chamber, amidst the moans of fellow prisoners and the endless gray days, Marie clung fiercely to a treasure hidden within her soul. A verse of scripture memorized in childhood: "Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life." Revelation chapter 2 verse 10. Each day, she whispered prayers under her breath, tiny flames of hope flickering in the darkness. With trembling fingers, under the faint light slipping through the cracks above, she secretly carved a single word into the stone wall: "Resistor, resist." The years dragged on. One by one, her fellow prisoners succumbed to illness, despair, or death. On some nights, Marie could hear her own heart sobbing into the silent void. "Lord, where are you?" Yet even when doubts flooded her soul, she never let go. In the harsh winter of 1738, a devastating plague swept through the prison, claiming dozens of lives. Corpses were carried away silently, without ceremony or prayer. One of the dead was Claire, Marie's closest companion, a girl with golden hair and a smile that had once lit up the darkness. In her final moments, Claire whispered, "Marie, don't let the flame die, promise me." Marie grasped that dying wish like a precious jewel. From that day onward, she did more, comforting broken spirits, softly singing ancient hymns, sharing even the smallest crust of bread she had. A tiny seed of hope, as fragile as morning dew, began to sprout in the heart of the prison. Each day, Marie would remind her companions, "We are not prisoners of this world. We are citizens of the kingdom of heaven." At long last, in 1768, after 38 years of captivity, Marie was released along with a handful of surviving sisters. She had spent nearly her entire youth behind those cold stone walls. but her soul had never been shackled. Stepping beyond the fortress gate, Marie lifted her face toward the sun, feeling its warmth for the first time in nearly 4 decades. She never married, never amassed riches, but her story became an enduring beacon for generations of Huguenots and countless others whose faith wavered on the brink. Marie Durand's faith teaches us that the strongest flames are not born in the warmth of spring but in the dead of winter. That true faith does not demand triumphant victories, but steadfastness until the end. Victor Hugo once wrote, "He who overcomes others is strong, he who overcomes himself is mighty." Similarly, the taught, victory over oneself is greater than victory over thousands in battle. And King Solomon, the ancient sage, proclaimed, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23. Today, you and I, though not imprisoned by stone walls, still face invisible prisons, doubt, indifference, temptation to give in. So how can we nurture unwavering faith in our own lives? Begin each day with a simple prayer to anchor your heart to the Eternal One. When faced with a choice between compromise and integrity, quietly affirm, "I choose the truth." Become a small light in your community. Offer words of encouragement, acts of kindness, and a loving presence. If today's story has touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss the next journeys of spiritual discovery. In our next video, we will delve into the inspiring life of George Muller, the man who fed thousands of orphans solely by the power of prayer and unshakable faith. Thank you for joining this journey today. May deep peace, overflowing joy, and the ever-burning flame of faith illuminate your life.